Let you know, man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. But God is really using you to help me out.
Family, you guys are so amazing. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I'm excited about this week, bringing you this episode. This week, we're going to talk about something on today that I truly believe that it will help new people that are getting into relationships out. Why? Because this is why we're doing this. It's this tool that you can look up, and depending on what your niche is, you can find out what are the major questions or the top 10, top 1,000, top 100 questions that people are asking about a specific genre or specific topic, right? And this popped up, right? So we said, listen, let's go. And I think that a lot of people, you already know, here at our channel, on our page, on our podcast, we talk about relationship, entrepreneurship, and also life. So most people get this fairy tale of relationships, and they never hear the title of this video, the brutal truth about relationships. They don't hear that. So what I want to do is I want to drop a nugget in y'all spirit on today, on this podcast, this episode. Why? Because people don't hear the truth. And I need you guys to hear the truth about relationships, because so many people think that relationships, this is a big one before we dive deep into what I'm talking about. Most people believe that if we argue in our relationship is not good. It's so far removed from the truth, right? Any relationship, right? And this is a big one. Any person that's in a relationship say that we never get mad at one another or we never argue, right? Now, there's different levels to arguing, but we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But any relationship, any couple that said we don't fuss, we don't argue, we don't get mad at each other, run away from that relationship. Run away from those people, because they're going to give you some false information. And the reason I say that is because any relationship, any healthy relationship, is going to go through some arguments. Like, think about your best friend, right? Think about your best friend in the whole wide world, or think about somebody that you're really, really, really close to. You may not do best friends, but think about somebody that you're really, really close to. Do you guys get in arguments? Do you guys get mad at each other? And then you may brush it off, but like, you know what? We got mad at each other for something stupid. We done. I forgive you. Forgive me. I apologize, right? And you move on. Any couple that, and I'm gonna get into something really good too. Any couple that says, no, we don't argue, we don't fuss, we don't get mad at each other, everything's always good, they're gonna give you some false information. And that's a fake relationship. That's not a real relationship. Now, if you don't see each other that much, right? She doing her thing, and I'm talking about dealing with another guy cheating, and he doing his thing, dealing with another female cheating, another woman. I'm sorry, y'all gonna kill me. Dealing with another woman cheating, then that's one thing. Y'all don't see each other as often, and when you guys see each other, it's great. That's something totally different. That's not a healthy relationship, right? That's somewhat of an open relationship. That's not what we're talking about. It's crazy because people give false information to try to paint this vivid picture of being so perfect. And then when you get into a relationship, you're like, hold on. Why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing? And maybe I don't have a healthy relationship. Maybe I don't have a good relationship. Maybe I need to leave this person alone. No, maybe you do have a healthy relationship. Every good relationship argues. Every good relationship get mad at each other. Period. That's just the case, right? You would never be in a relationship where you're happy with the person 1,000% of the time. Never, ever happen in life. It would never happen. And that happened. But today, I got to give you guys the brutal truth to relationship. Now, before we get started, I want to share this. This is one thing, when I officiate weddings and during the marital counseling process, this is the number one question that I ask, right? I ask this question. Name one thing about this person. And this is our first meeting, right? If I marry family members, I don't meet with them because most times they'll think I'll be biased. So it's always, I just got to put that disclaimer out there. But it got to be two people that I don't know, right? So the first question that I ask is, what is one quality, one trait about this person that you do not like? Now, before you answer, this is what I say, before you answer, if you say that there is no trait about them that I don't like, you're not ready to get married, period. And this is another thing too. If you can't list, maybe I wouldn't say 10, maybe 3 traits or qualities or characteristics about this person that you're crazy about, so-called crazy about, and you can't list 3 to 4 things about them that irritate you, that you can't stand, the first part of that question is, what is it? If you can't list it, you're not ready to get married. Matter of fact, let's go a little deep further. Let's go a little further. You're not ready to be engaged. Many of you are pushing the envelope or moving too fast in a relationship. I mean, you're moving too fast. You know, I get it. You like this person a lot. And this is what I tell people. I don't care if you talk to a woman or a man for 30 days or 40 days, every single day. In my opinion, you don't know enough about this person to say, you know what, this is the person, I'm ready to get married. Some couples have made it work. But I guarantee you, a lot of those couples that made it work in that 30 to 40 days or whatever, and then they got engaged and then got married, in that marriage, they found out red flags like, oh man, I've been overlooking this whole time. Had I known this, I would never have got married. I would never have got engaged. Why? Because you cannot, I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of connection you have with this person. You can never rush the process. And the reason I say that, because you can talk to a woman or a man for 30 days straight, every single day. I mean, morning, wake up in the morning, talk to him for a good 30 minutes, right? Then you guys do what you do, go to work, or you're an entrepreneur, whatever, you do what you do. Then for lunch, you talk to him again for another 30 minutes. Then at night, you talk for about 4 hours, 5 hours, right? Every single day for 30 days. You can do this regimen every single day for 30 days. Let's go a little further for even 40 days. And you still, this person can hide who they are. I've seen this time and time again, right? Even if you're spending time with this person in person, and I tell people this all the time, you would never, ever, I don't care, you can be married, I mean, you can be engaged for a year and be like, listen, this is the way that we want to do it. We want to get engaged first, and then once we get married, then we'll move in together. You would never find out who a person really is until you guys move in together. Bars, for real. That's facts. You can be dating a person for a whole year, right? And they can still hide certain parts about them. They can hide it. They can hide who they are in that year. Why? Because you don't go home with them. You won't really discover 100%. And even with that, it's not even 100%. Even if you live with a person, you still won't discover 100%. And that's the crazy part. Even when you live with somebody, you still won't discover 100% of the person in the first 30 days. You won't, because they can, even in 30 days of you guys living together, they can still hide who they are. So let's get back to the original. You can be talking to somebody for 30 days straight or 40 days straight, and they can hide who they are. Many of you fail. And I'm not saying that you don't like this person a lot. You met this person or you've been talking. Let's say you two been talking for 6 months, right? And then on the 7th month, you're like, you know what? You are a good friend. I want to take this a step further. I want to get into a relationship. Now, you know their qualities or for what you think you know, right? You think that they shared everything truthfully to you, right? So everything that you think you know, all the data that you think you know, now you're applying this to the relationship. And it's so euphoric at this moment. Why? Because it's a great, this person have said everything that I have shared my deepest secrets with this person. Or even if you didn't share your deepest secrets, you have shared a lot of information with this person. Now they can shape and form their personality to the quality traits that you say that you like. Bars, like that's real. Like a real good person, and I'm not saying that's manipulative, but a person that wants something, this is what they would do. They would gather up all the data, gather up all the information that they can gather up that you share with them, right? You share all this information with them. They gather all their information. Now they begin to fit that mode of what you gave to them. That's why I tell singles, when you get into a relationship or you meet this guy, you meet this woman, and you really like this person, don't give out too much information of you. Now, I'm talking about personal information. Now, I'm not talking about the things, the intricate parts about you of lying. No, don't lie. Tell the truth, but be in reserve of what you share with this person until you really get to know them a little bit better. Because most people, a lot of people, right? A lot of people can be very manipulative. They will allow you to talk. And this is crazy because when you meet a person and they display to you what you really like, they will allow you to get so comfortable that you unleash everything on them and you share everything that about you. And now they got all the information. You have some manipulative people that would gather all this information and they would begin to fit the mold, because you have some people that have ulterior motives. Maybe they want to live somewhere where they don't have to pay bills, or they don't have to pay the rent, or they don't have to pay the mortgage. They're looking for stability. And that goes for men and women. I've heard of situations where men try to get with women that are established, and the guy don't have too much. He has ambition, but he doesn't have too much. But this woman got the money. She got the bread. She has the house, the car, everything. So he gets in good. He razzle dazzles her. Listen, ladies, let me give y'all a quick play real fast. This is called the razzle dazzle, right? And I got to share. The guy's going to get mad at me, but I got to share this with, because I don't want y'all to fall down the pitfall. This is one of the razzle-dazzle plays that some men will try, right? This is what they do. They will have enough money, right, saved up, or have enough money to impress you for the first, I would say, week or maybe 2 weeks, right? He takes you out. You pay for nothing. He already found out that you're the one that he really wants, right? And let me give a sidebar. This is for the soundbite. Men don't take long in discovering if this is the woman that I will want to get to know and possibly spend the rest of my life with. If you're with a man and you guys been together for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and he's like, no, I'm not ready to get married, he's playing you. He may not be cheating on you. He may be cheating on you, but he's playing you. Because as men, we know in the first, I want to say conservatively, at least in the first 30 days, and really, honestly, it's really 2 weeks. Let's really be honest. In the first 2 weeks, as men, we know if this is the type of woman that we want to spend the rest of our life with, or if we don't know for a fact that we want to marry her, we know for a fact in the first 2 weeks if this is the woman that we would like to get to know a little bit better, to take seriously. We know in the first 2 weeks. First 30 days, he knows without a shadow of a doubt if this is the woman that I can be with for the rest of my life. We know. Unless after that 30 days, you begin to show us something different. That's totally different. But usually men's minds are made up in the first 2 weeks and then the first 30 days of meeting a woman. Our minds are made up. Gotta drop that sidebar. And I lost my track of thought we was talking about at the beginning, but it's all cool. But I had to, I know what I was talking about, the razzle dazzle. But I had to give y'all that. Because it bothers me that I have women, right, that are dating guys, done bought houses with them, bought cars, started businesses, and this guy's still saying, I don't know if I want to get married. I don't think I'm ready. What you mean? So you want to play house, but you're not ready to do house? Like, come on, like, what are you doing? That's when women, you have to stand up and let your standards be made known. My wife was like, look, bro, I don't know what you got going on, but if I don't have a ring on my finger by March, right, I'm gone. Listen, I ain't got time to play no games. Like, that's how you have to be. Like, ladies, you cannot give this guy you can't give this guy multiple options. You have to give him an ultimatum. Either we're going to take this, and you got to stand on what you mean. Ladies, I'm going to do a whole podcast about that. Ladies, you have to stand firm on what you believe and what you mean, period. Because if you start getting wavering in what you say or whatever, they're going to play you. He's going to play you every single time. It bothers me. That's going to be the next podcast. I promise you, I'm doing that. We're going to record that in the studio this session. But let's get to this. This is the play for a guy. He saves his money. He has a little change for a good 2 weeks of a good razzle-dazzle, right? I mean razzle-dazzle for about 2 weeks. He'll razzle-dazzle you. And what does razzle-dazzle mean? That means that every event that we go to, number one, I'm paying for, but it's going to be something so exciting and brand new for you because he's captivating the excitement of you and him being together. He's captivating that, and he's putting it in an atmosphere where it can grow into something even greater. Meaning, you're excited about this new venture. It may not be a relationship, but you're excited about being with this guy. He's excited about being with you as well, right? So he captivates this excitement, puts you into an atmosphere that makes you think, oh, this might be the guy. Right? He razzle-dazzles you for 2 weeks. Flowers, candies, calls, text messages, everything. I mean, he puts out the whole woodworks. Now, I just got to put a disclaimer. Every guy's not like that. Some guys will give you the razzle dazzle and they really mean the razzle dazzle. I mean, they really mean what they're doing. Now, but you got some guys that's going to play, right? I mean, and it's crazy because it's almost, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's difficult to catch if this is the razzle dazzle where you trying to get something from me, because this is the whole play. He puts it out in the front as if I don't need you, as if I'm good. And you thinking, okay, I got the bag. As a woman, you like, I got the bag. He know I got the bag. Like, I got the bag. But he's not intrigued about what I have. Matter of fact, he got a little something too. So you think. That's the razzle dazzle. So you think. You think he has a little bit, but he don't really got nothing. He may have, let's say, $3,000 to $4,000 saved up, right? But he's using that for the razzle dazzle. Why? Because when he goes hunting, he's gonna go in for the kill. Like, I'm gonna put this $4,000 up, and I'm gonna kill it. Why? Because she got the house, she got the cars. Bam! I razzle dazzle with this $4,000, and then once she gets to the place of, she's gonna stay with me. Let's go, touchdown. I went for the score. That's the whole end goal, to find somewhere to stay. And truth be told, he may razzle dazzle you to the place where he gets into the house and lives in the house because he doesn't have nowhere to live, right? He may make pretty decent money. Maybe he's not good with money. Maybe he needs a woman that will help him get on course, right? That's a totally different podcast. But he may do what he's supposed to do for the first 6 months. But what happens is most men that do the razzle dazzle play on a woman, they get in and they feel as if the woman would never kick him out. Why? Because he's here. He's not only here, he's here in with her, right? He got into her mental. So once he gets into your mental, it's a done deal, right? That's why you have so many women that get beat on in relationships that stay. Why? Because he's here. Not just because if I'm just here, that can fade away. Your feelings change every single day. Every single day. I'm giving you the brutal truth about relationships. I got to, right? And here, the heart, it changes. But here, why do you think motivational speakers get paid a grip? Like my boy, E.T., Eric Thomas. This guy would get paid $100,000 for 1 hour speaking, or even up to $300,000 for a single session. You serious? Why? Because a motivational speaker can massage the brain into thinking the message they're trying to relay, and for you to accomplish whatever mission that they're trying to get you to accomplish. For example, if a company calls me and say, I need more productivity, he would say words that would get you to do better in production, that you would produce more. So after you leave, you're like, oh man, let's get to work. Let's make some sales. If the company wants to boost the morale up, they will call the motivational speaker, and the motivational speaker will come in and boost the morale up. Now everybody getting together, everybody saying kumbaya. Because a motivational speaker knows how to massage the mind. Because if I can get here, it's cool. That's why Jay-Z said, he said, first I grab their ears, then I grab their hearts. Now I'm on top of the charts. Right? Because if I can get your ear, that's the quickest gateway to your mind. Bars. All right, so let's get back. All right, what's the truth about relationships? The brutal truth. The brutal truth is, let me give you this quick rundown before we get out of here. The brutal truth is, in relationships, you will not always be happy. Period. Honestly. You may be in a relationship, you're not going to always love, let me take that back. You will always love the person, but you will not always like that person. Period. There has been times where you be like, you know what, I'm done. Like, for real, for real. And then you go about your day, and 30 minutes later, you think like, man, this is a good woman. This is a good guy, right? That's the truth about relationships. Relationships, you will not always like your person. I don't always like my wife. Being honest. I don't. I love her. Don't always like her. Now, in relationships, right? There would be some type of arguments. There, you may not have arguments where you like, let's throw some blows. It shouldn't get there. It shouldn't get there. I want to suggest that if you get to a place in your relationship where you really, 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 really want to knock that person out, it's time to go. If you get to the place where you're like this close to hitting them, you need to go. Ain't no need to why would you get into a relationship, right? Unless you go to a boxing gym. Why would you get into a relationship where you have to box or you have to spar or you have to fight? What? Relationships are supposed to be fun. But this is the brutal truth. Another brutal truth that I got to share with you. Some women will be so disrespectful what they say. Now, my verbiage of disrespectful is saying things below the belt that you know hurts that person. That's disrespectful. That's my, some people say disrespectful is cussing the guy out, calling him outside of his name. Yeah, that's disrespectful too. But in my definition of disrespect is when you say something about your guy that you know is true and he know is true, but it's something that he battles with. It could be sexually, it could be a physical defect, and you bring that up or you say that, that's disrespectful, right? Women in relationships, is it good? Is it healthy? No. She needs to work on this. And bros, I'm going to say something about y'all too. But women will say things to you that will make you want to just take a hammer and just go to work. Let's be honest. Those are the brutal truths of relationships. It would get there sometimes. It would get there. But it's out of emotion. Is it an excuse? No. You need to check your attitude. You need to check your words at the door. Because if you truly love this person, you'll be careful what you say to the person. Why? Because words cannot be taken back. Come on, fam, in the back. Let's holler. Words cannot be taken back. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what the mode or what was said. Words can never be taken back. Words will always pierce in the heart. I promise you. It will leave a lasting stain in this person's life, right? Like if you say stuff like, oh, other guys want me. So initially you say that because you're hurt about something, right? And this is the brutal truth about relationships. Other guys want me. Okay, cool. Other guys may want you. But now in the back of his mind, he may not be an insecure guy, but you just opened that gateway. Other guys want you. So in other words, what you're saying in this guy's head, he's saying, oh, so you want other guys to want you, or you're making yourself available. You make yourself be in the picture of a guy looking at you and noticing you. That's how he's taking it. But that's the brutal truth about relationships. Ladies, you need to fix that. Fix it. Like you can't be saying what you want to say to this guy, and then he responds in a different way through his actions, and now you get mad. It doesn't work that way. That's why I'm gonna say this, and I gotta get on the guys, and I gotta get out of here. That's why I tell people don't give advice if a guy or a woman cheats in a relationship. Don't be giving advice to your friend, girl, you need to leave him, dude. You need to just leave her alone. No, you don't. You can't say that because you don't know the truth that went behind closed doors. She could have been so disrespectful, and that disclaimer, it's not an excuse. Cheating is a choice. It's not an excuse, but she could have been saying things so disrespectful to this guy, right? And an opportunity came up because cheating happens when desirability meets availability, period. And those two meet. That's how cheating happens. Most decent people decent people don't go out, I'm gonna cheat today. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's because they desire something, man or woman, they desire something from the opposite sex, or they desire something from a different person. Now, because the person that they're in a relationship with is so disrespectful, they desire loyalty, or they desire to be lifted up, or affirmations. Right? So desirability meets availability. Now meet this woman that's giving me all this. I really don't want to cheat, but she's giving me all the vibes. And now availability meets up. We got an opportunity. Let's go. Let's do it. That's why I said don't give advice, because you don't know what she's been saying. You don't know what he's been saying behind closed doors. You don't know how the relationship is. It could be a toxic relationship. And he like, yo, I'm done. I'm out of here. But let me give you one more. Fellas, you have to stop using your money as leverage. And I know a lot of women are clapping hard right now. Fellas, you have to stop using your money as leverage to try to control that woman. Stop. Cut it out. This is the brutal truth about relationships. Brutal truth. Because sometimes some relationships, some guys will use their money to try to dictate and control a woman all day long. For real. And fellas, you got to stop doing that. Why? Because you may meet a woman that would take it, but so far. She would take the abuse. She would take everything you say, cool, you're right, I need you. But then once she begins to feel herself and get a better understanding of her value and she meets another brother that has more money than you, she out of here. She gone. Many relationships, brutal truth about relationships. I may have to do a sequel to this or a series of this. The brutal truth about relationships is most, or I'm not going to say most, many relationships are a financial move from breaking up. I met this woman and she was just bowling out her heart to me. How her husband doesn't respect her, how her husband says that he's fat, she's fat, and just, no intimacy is going on. And when I say intimacy, not just sex, but like no intimate moments of them, hugging and kissing and, intimate moments like that, right? She said there's no intimacy, nothing's going on, right? And I asked her, I said, are you staying? Why do you stay? She said, I stay because of the financial aspect of our relationship. He holds us down financially, right? And she's like, if I leave, I can't sustain on my own. It's okay. If somebody gave you $100,000 right now, would you leave? She said, I'd be gone in a heartbeat. A lot of relationships that are unspoken, they don't say it, but a lot of relationships, and I don't want your relationship to be like this, so I'm giving you the brutal truth. A lot of relationships will break up if they had resources to leave. Many people will leave a relationship if they got a bag. Some as low as 5,000, some low as 500,000, some as low as 100,000. A lot of relationships, if I give you $1 million, would you leave your person? Yes, immediately. A lot of them are like that. Because a lot of the brutal truth about relationships, a lot of people stay in uncomfortable situations or stay in a relationship because they feel as if they have to. I wanted to help y'all guys out. I love you guys. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go to all of our social media platforms, AOS.inspires, Instagram, and also YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. If you listen to us on any platforms of podcasts, it's AOS the podcast. And also, I got to do a quick commercial real fast. This episode is brought to you by Winning After a Major Loss. It's a publication that we wrote in 2016. We sold hundreds of copies. Our lives have been changed by that book, Winning After a Major Loss. I need you to go to Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com and get you a copy even right now. I love you guys, and I had to drop this. This is the brutal truth about relationships. This is AOS the podcast. I holla.